Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sami Sampi. If you're a new subscriber here, welcome and I invite you to subscribe. And if you're not new, welcome back and thank you so much for your support so far. So today we're going to talk about Lady Who Leased Atlanta, the reunion episode. Let's get into it. The presenter is Tenika Ray, who we've seen before. I believe she was the presenter for the reunion for Ready to Love season 5, the one just before the one we're reviewing right now. So she's back. So we all have the lady there minus Kiana. We have all the other ladies there. Let's talk about the fashion. So they're not doing the ultra glam situationship. Most of them are wearing, I would say, formal outfits, but not necessarily like big gowns, which is I think is okay. Everybody don't need to be dressed the same and wearing all the extra like they're doing for the Real Housewife reunions. We have Miss Robin. She's wearing a gown. She's actually the one that's a little bit more overdressed. She's wearing a blue gown with like frills at the bottom. I thought it was a good look. It's not really my style, but I thought it was good. She did stand out a little bit from the other ladies who I thought were dressed a little bit more down, but nevertheless still very stylish. Miss Tiffany was wearing a two-piece suit. It was a two-piece black suit. I thought she looked really good. Miss Tiana was wearing a two-piece blazer, white with a little bit of frills, and it was like a mini skirt. I really liked it on her. I thought it was a little bit risque, but I liked it on her. Then we had Miss Crystal, who was wearing that beautiful Azer blazer. I thought the color fit her really well, but a part of me felt like she didn't really take any risk. I'm not really sure what was the dress code, but it's giving very real estate, a little bit more glammed, a little bit sexier. And then we have Miss Kira, who was wearing a two-piece blazer, white, with a little bit of like a side that was open. I thought that was a good look too. So yeah, the ladies all look great. They didn't take a lot of risk with the fashions. It's definitely not Real Housewife, but it's okay, right? Everybody don't have to look the same. So I could definitely appreciate that. The show starts with Tenika announcing that Kiana is not going to join the lady for the reunion because she quit the reunion and that she will be missed. Tiffany says that she wished that Kiana was there because a lot of ladies could relate to her story and to her journey. And Kira, who is very close to Kiana, says that the reason why Kiana is not part of the show anymore is because she felt that the show, how she was presented in the show, does not align with what she is working on in her real estate career. And we see the numerous wins that the ladies had during the show. That's something I can definitely appreciate. We've seen a lot of closing. A lot of closing happen in that show. So we go back and we see the first closing, which was for the YouTube couple. See Kiana closing. We also see Tiffany and Tiana closing. We see Kira closing with B. Simone. So we see a lot of wins, and that's really nice. Tenika is telling them that it's really nice to see, and Tiana, as usual, give a really nice speech as to why she believes that women are changing things in the real estate games. She's explaining that women makes very good leader because they know to also be on the other side of leadership, and because they know what it is to not be a leader in a situation, they learn a lot from that, and that makes them better leader. And I thought that was beautifully explained by Tiana. Tiana says that the reason why she's so good at real estate is because she's very good at networking and at building relationship. She explained to us how she had a relationship with B. Simone before she was famous, and get to tell us a little bit more about the other famous clients that she had. Nika asked Anna if being married to a football player helped her in a real estate journey and put her on, and she explained very gracefully to Tenika that even though her husband a lot of quality and has definitely collaborated with her and helped her a lot. He did not put her on. She put herself on, but definitely she is receiving help from her husband. And I once again very beautifully said from Tiana. And they talk about the bad dinner with Robin and Crystal fighting and the situationship. They go back on that. And we have Robin asking Crystal why Crystal didn't tell her that Kiana had an issue with her and didn't prepare her for that situation. And Crystal says it basically cut. I felt like that's one thing. I felt like the editing on the Rainian, a lot of parts were cut. And I understand that they were probably trying to make it fit into one part, but you want to make sure that it flows. We could really see the editing flow this time. Crystal does not respond to Robin's question, but instead says that what she should have done is mind her business. And I'm just being very general about that. She's saying that she should not have said anything when Kiana and Robin were talking, and when Kira and Robin were, fighting. She should have just said, stayed quiet. But she didn't answer Robin's question on why didn't she let her know, like if they were that good friend, why didn't she let Robin know that there was something that's going to come out and that she needed to be prepared for that. Crystal gets to talk about what she expects about good friend, and she's giving Kiana as an example. She feels that Kiana is the only person that voiced a disapproval of Robin putting her hands on her. And then Kira said, but I did too, and the other ladies I guess also said that. And once again, that part was cut. They're not really getting to the bottom of it. Like, why we see Tiana trying to defend herself on why she was not good with the situation. She really felt that Robin was being ganged on by Crystal, Kiana, and Kira, and then she just didn't like it. And Tiffany says that she just left. Like, whenever she saw that the situation was bad, she left. So she wasn't really there when Robin put her hand on Crystal. And then Robin says that Crystal was very close to her and she didn't just put her hand on her. And a part of me was like, yeah, she was close to you, but she's your friend, Robin. Did you feel that Crystal was going to hurt you? No. You're the one that was on the attack, So I felt like Robin was being unfair. Like, don't make it seem like she was in front of you in attack mode. She was not in attack mode. You were. Crystal also admits that she should not have repeatedly said the word triggered, and that the way that she handled the situation was not good. And then we have Tenika asking Crystal why did she come up with a t-shirt called Not Easily Triggered. And then apparently that really ended a relationship with Robin, which is totally understandable because now you playing off that. You're trying to make money off something that's not really nice that you did. And she's saying that, well, at that moment, she wasn't really thinking about Robin's feelings. She was just trying to capitalize out of the situation because she had that business mindset. She didn't really pay attention to everything else. And I'm like, you know what? I'm starting to believe Crystal. I'm starting to believe her because Crystal is a shark, and whenever there's an opportunity for her to make money, she's going to make the money, and it doesn't matter if it's going to hurt someone's feelings or not. And I'm really starting to believe her because we've seen her trying to take Kira from Tiffany after talking about she wanted to collaborate from Tiffany. So there's a pattern here. So a part of me kind of believe her when she say, yeah, she don't care about your feelings. She just wants to make money. I believe you, Crystal. Crystal says that she regrets saying that Robin was her best friend because they do not have a friendly relationship and definitely not a best friend relationship. At some point, we have Miss Kira trying to intervene, talking about she's a peacemaker, and Robin is not liking it. So the two of them are getting into it. They're going back onto the words that were said during the dinner party, and then Kira said that she gave example of when she was trying to be a peacemaker, saying that she reached out to Robin when Robin had a breakdown on Instagram, and Robin does not like that at all, and she's stand up. And once again, why are you standing up? Are you trying to be violent with Kira, Robin? Robin, you have a problem. Like, yoga is not enough. Like, let's be real, yoga is not enough. You need to do therapy, and you need to even like realize that everything is not violence. Violence is not the response. They keep fighting, and then Tenika is actually telling Robin about the whole yoga thing, and Robin did not like that, and she's telling her, do not patronize me, and then she proceeds to leave. And then we have Tiffany coming into Robin's rescue and letting her know, listen, like, you have a problem with Kira because Kira is saying on national TV that you had a breakdown on Instagram. You could have just said, hey, I didn't have a breakdown on Instagram, but what you're doing now is that you're having a breakdown on national TV. So basically, is making Kira look like she's right. So she's trying to calm down Robin, and honestly, Tiffany, I love that, man. Tiffany, she's a real one. Like, she's being so real with Robin. Like, she's not sugarcoating anything, but she's saying it in a way that Robin can hear. So Robin comes back and she's apologizing to Tiana for leaving, and they continue talking. Crystal explains that she was not aware of how deep Robin's mental illness was. She's trying to explain that even though she knew that Robin had depression before, she didn't think that it was as bad as it was being portrayed on TV. She was not aware of it. She get cut again by Tiffany that's telling her, well, you know, it's hard because you said that you were aware that she had depression, and depression is a mental illness. So Tiffany doesn't believe Crystal, and Crystal is really trying to explain herself. And on that note, I'm going to say I can understand Crystal. What Crystal is saying is that she knew that Robin had depression before, but she didn't think it was the case anymore. And that after watching the show, she realized how deep her issues were. And I mean, a lot of us, especially in the Black community, don't really know what mental illness entails. We don't really know how far it can go, you know? So why blame her? It's true, she's a very smart woman, but she doesn't know everything. And if she's saying, yeah, I didn't know it was that bad, maybe it's true. Maybe she just wasn't aware of the gravity of the situation with Robin. And we get to talk about Crystal trying to sway Kira away with the lunch, the luxury lunch and everything. And Tenika is really, you know, impressed with that. And she's asked her what that was about. And Crystal explained basically a whole family lineage. And she's saying that she has the blood of a beast running through her vein. And I was like, oh, that's a nice catchphrase. But guess what? The lady don't give a fuck. And Tenika was like, oh, wow, that was nice. And she was like, lady, do you agree with that? Like, you agree with that, right? And I'm sure Crystal was waiting for the ladies to like say yeah, but they're like, no. Crystal is like, what? She's like, damn, that catchphrase was good. And they're like, no. And then they proceed to explain why they do not agree with Crystal ways. They're saying, Tiana says that, yeah, you have, you know, very good lineage of excellence, but it doesn't mean that the way you approach things is right. And Tiffany says that you talked about us collaborating and helping each other, but then you went and got Kira away. You tried to get business from Kira. And Tiffany says that she has been closing with Kira for a long time, even when Kira was not closing on huge houses. And she feels that Crystal only wants to close with Kira because of the money that she can bring her. And she even proceeds to say that before the show, Crystal was not trying to close with Kira. And Kira, to Crystal's defense, said that they've talked a lot and they developed some type of a friendship, and that It wasn't just about the closing. But I beg to differ. Once again, Crystal said to us that everything that she's doing is business related. She's putting it all in the table. So yeah, Kira, Crystal may like you. I'm not saying no, but at the end of the day, she's coming to you strictly for business. And Tiffany is saying that's just not how she is. She has a strong relationship with Kira. She's been doing it. She's been closing with Kira for years, and that where the difference lies between Tiffany and between Crystal. And then they ask Kira, has she ever closed with Crystal? And she's like, no. They both like proudly say no. And Tiffany is like, yeah, I'm not impressed. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. And I agree with Tiffany. And here is the thing, Crystal. The only issue with you is that you're not being real. You know, either you're a business lady, either you're trying to collaborate. But if you're trying to collaborate with someone, there's a way to act. That's very simple. Don't talk about you want to collaborate with Tiffany, you want to have some type of relationship with her, almost acting like you want y'all to have some type of friendship, but then you turn around and try to take business from her. You have to understand why Tiffany is having difficulties trusting you. Just be real, just be real. It's one or the other, but you have to be real and you have to be transparent. Personally, watching the show from on the outside, I really appreciate what Crystal is doing. She's a beast. I agree. That's why when I say she's a shark, I'm not saying that she's like mean or anything. I'm just saying like she's not playing in business. She's about her money, and that's very commendable, especially for a black woman. But at the same time, you cannot say you're trying to build a relationship with someone, but at the same time you're trying to compete. You have to be very careful with that, because there's a very fine line. That's all I'm saying. Then the ladies talk about black excellence on display, and they show several clips or the different black celebrities and athletes that the ladies have been closing with. And Tenika is asking Tiffany about her experience with closing with Cardi B. Tiffany is not saying much, but what she is saying is that the process is the same whether you are a multimillionaire or not, because buying a house is a luxury in itself, and that is so real. Buying a house, especially for us black people, is a big thing. Buying a house is going to be, for most of us, the most expensive purchase we will make in our lives. So it is a luxury in itself. So I love how she's explaining that. She's not saying too much, and all the other ladies talk about their experiences, and I love it. I love the way they go about it and the way they explain things. Then they talk about the whole being a mom and being a real estate agent. They're showing several clips of Tiffany and Tiana with their children. Those are Robin talking about her kids. We have not seen Robin's kids now, but we did see picture of them when they were younger, and that was definitely beautiful to see. And we had Miss Crystal that started crying. The lady asked her what's going on, and then she explained the situationship that she had and how she feels about not being able to conceive easily, which led her to really bond with Tiana and Tiffany on that. And she explained that she's had a miscarriage before, and Tiffany is letting her know that she does not want Crystal to think that every time they're thinking about their children, it's an insult to the ladies that do not have any. That in her case, she really thinks about her children a lot. She really worries about her children. She has a 16-year-old son, and she explained that stuff that she has gone through and the anxiety, and how having children really changed her mindset. It shouldn't be taken as an insult toward Crystal nor the ladies that do not have children yet, because this is not what they are about. And Tiffany also proceeded to tell Crystal that she also suffered from a miscarriage, and that she wishes Crystal to be able to conceive and to have children. That was really nice. I was really touched by Tiffany's speech. And it's not easy. It's not easy when there's something that you want so much and it's not happening yet. And there's one thing that Tiana said that was, I always say that myself, so I was like, finally. And Tiana said, having children is a gift. It's not everybody that can have them, and she does not take that gift for granted. And it's true. Having children is a gift from God. You know, you are not special because you had kids, and someone else that don't have kids is like, it's just a gift from God, and you should take it as such. The show ends on that note. I thought that the reunion was, in general, I thought the reunion was okay. I thought that they could have done a better job on the editing. I thought they could have made it longer, not necessarily 2 parts, but just a little longer, you know, like, because I felt like this show, with the level and the quality of the lady that are there, I felt like it would have been good to get like a question answer type of thing. And the editing sometimes is cutting a lot of things or cutting some explanation, which I did not like. We can see the admiration that Tenika had for the ladies, which is nice, but at the same time, I feel like sometimes she needs to show a little bit less of emotion. I felt like you shouldn't know what you think of someone, like the way she asked the question about the question to Robin about the yoga thing. It was a little shady, so I thought that we didn't need that. But yeah, in general, it was really good. I really enjoyed the season. I hope they come back for a second season. It was really nice, and I wanted to let you all know that I will be reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville in March, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you all so much. If you're not subscribed yet, I invite you to subscribe. And for those of you that have been watching my videos, thank you all so much for your support. That YouTube thing is not easy, but I'm loving it and I'm here to stay. Thank you, and see you next week. Bye.